Hello everyone, it is Friday, January 21st, January 21st, and I'm just here to do a little bit of a check-in. I am planning to do my nails today because I got a little bit of a chip right there, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I am wearing on my nails because I have had these nail wraps on for almost 4 weeks. So you can see, maybe you can't see, this camera doesn't focus, but I don't have very much wear. I mean, there is a little bit of wear on the tip, but I have no cracks, and that's about it. Like, I did chip this part of my nail, so that part of the polish did come off, but these wore really, really well. And so I just wanted to share with you that these are Lily and Fox nail strips. I had heard about these from my friend Vanessa's Vlogmas videos. Her channel is Crafty Planty Life, and she does some knitting segments, she does some crochet segments, she does some plant segments, and so I really, really enjoy watching her content. But she had tried out these nail strips during Christmas time, and I'm always looking for new nail products, so I decided to check them out as well. They're very affordable. I picked up several sets. You can see it comes with a handwritten note, and yeah, so this is how they come packaged. You get a little origami fox, and then your nail strips. And so I got a bunch of them. These were the ones that caught my eye the most. They are Christmas Tyrannosaurus Rex. But yeah, I got a bunch of them to try. And so my daughter and I have been wearing these black star ones. And we did get one set out of one of these packets. So both my daughter and I used up one whole packet, and so yeah, the value was really great too. They're pretty inexpensive, so if you're looking to try some nail like wraps, they're like stickers, they just stick onto your nail, but it is nail polish. Definitely check these out. And yeah, so I will tell you that I normally wear, when I'm looking to wear some fast nail polish looks, these Color Street strips, which this is actually what I'm going to put on my nails next, because my nails do need a trim and I do need to change my polish out. But I usually wear these, but these strips are also 100% polish, but they're much thinner than the Lily and Fox ones. So the application is slightly different. So if you're familiar with using Color Street strips, don't go into the Lily and Fox strips thinking they're going to apply the same way because they are nail polish. No, the Lily and Fox strips are much thicker and you can't apply them the same way as you do the Color Street. You need to really make sure that the strip matches the size of your nail with the Lily and Fox before you apply it, because I had a really, really, really hard time applying the Lily and Fox because I didn't know that they had to match the size of your nail before you applied it. So a lot of people trim them down before putting them on. And so I will definitely be utilizing that tip in the future, but I really, really enjoyed the Lily and Fox strips. So yeah, I'm going to change out to the Color Street. These typically don't last me more than a week and a half, 2 weeks. But I have a lot of them, so I'm going to use them. And yeah, so I just wanted to check in and let you know what I was going to be doing. So you will see this nice blue powdery color in my next clip. So I hope you're having a good one. And I'll talk to you later. So it's about 1:30 in the morning, and I am Just getting ready to settle into bed. I'm hoping to try to finish Glory and Death by J.D. Robb. I only have that much left, but I wanted you to hear what is going on outside. So I don't know if you can hear right now, but the wind has really picked up, and I hate it when the wind picks up like this because it just really scares me. You can probably hear my curtain flapping, but I'm going to put the microphone near my window so that you can hear a little bit of what's going on outside. So I'm going to unclip it from my lapel right now and move you to the window. So hold on a second. So it is pretty breezy out there. I think something is clacking. I haven't heard too many things being rolled down the street, so that's a good thing. Normally when we've got winds like this, people lose things. The last time one of our neighbors lost their sidings. And so, yeah, you never know if your house is going to make it through unscathed. Plus, I have a really large tree across the street. One of our neighbors has a really large tree in between their properties. And every time the wind blows like this, I get so scared that tree is going to fall over, because if it does, it will either hit our garage or it will hit my daughter's room. So, yeah, pretty scary stuff going on out there. The lights have already flickered a little bit. So, yeah. I'm going to try to calm down and relax a little bit, get ready for bed. Hopefully I'll be able to finish this book and get some sound sleep tonight. But yeah, I just wanted to check in and let you know what's going on outside, because there's some pretty scary weather going on out there. And not the type of weather I'd like to go to sleep to, but it is what it is. So I hope you're all having a good one, and I will talk to you later. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di, and today is the start of my second part of the January Disis19 Diaries. I almost said vlog there, but it's Disis19 Diaries this year. So before this clip, you would have seen a little bit of what I've done earlier this week. I also shared with you what the weather's been like. Today, the wind is still pretty scary. It's not as bad as the clip previous that you saw, but it is still going out there. So if you hear any knocking, that's what it is. My window is closed, so anything that you hear is coming through the glass. But yeah, the weather's still pretty strange. It's a bit warmer now, which I'm disliking because I feel like I haven't gotten enough of the cooler weather. But yeah, let's start with what I've read since I talked to you last. I just filmed my February TBR video, my Rotating Decks TBR, and then I filmed my wrap-up clip, so I already gave all of my thoughts for that. So if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on these books, definitely check out my wrap-up vlog, which I think will be posted by the time I post this segment. If it is, I will link it down in the description box below. Shortly after I talked to you last, I finished The Lightning Thief, which is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan. I gave this one 5 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. Listened to the audiobook version for the first time, and that was very interesting. I enjoyed that as well. I'm looking forward to continuing with that one. That one was a reread for me, but it has been several years since I experienced that series, and so I'm really, really looking forward to the next one. Then on Thursday, we had our Monochrome Manga Club meeting, or my in real life manga club. We don't actually call it the Monochrome Manga Club, but I use that header for my channel. And so we finished all of these. So let me just tell you what I gave as far as ratings go. And all of these I'll talk about more in depth in my Monochrome Manga Club First Impressions video, which again should be posted by the time you're seeing this. I'm having a hard time with words today, so please bear with me. So, we started our series read of A Silent Voice by Yoshitoki Oima. This one is published by Kodansha, rated teen. I ended up giving both of these 3.5 stars. We started our series read of Death Note. I have the all-in-one edition, but we only read 2 volumes, or 1 black edition. This one is by Tsugumi Oba, art by Takeshi Obata. Published by Viz, rated older teen. I ended up giving both of those volumes, or I should say, I ended up giving the black edition, because that's what we were reading. I ended up giving that one, I think, 3.5 stars also. I think that's what I settled on, 3.5. Though I think I did enjoy reading Death Note more than I did reading A Silent Voice. But like I said, for more of my thoughts on that, definitely check out my series First Impressions video. We read Night of the Ice Volume 1 by Yayoi Ogawa. This one is published by Kodansha, rated older teen. I ended up giving this one 4 stars. And then we read Shortcake Cake Volume 1 by Sue Morishita, published by Viz, rated teen. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. So the last thing that I have read since I talked to you last was Glory and Death. Like I said in my previous clip, I did finish this one up last night. This is the second book in the In-Depth series by J.D. Robb, and I ended up giving this one 3 stars. If you look at my Goodreads ratings, you will notice that those ratings do not match what I just said. That is because I do round up on Goodreads, just because Goodreads doesn't have half-star ratings, and I do round up kind of like as a kind of nod to the creators just for their work. So yes, I do round up on Goodreads. And so the only other thing that I am in the middle of right now is I Know What You Did Last Summer by Lois Duncan. This I am reading for the Buzzword Reading Challenge. Now, the Buzzword Reading Challenge is something that I didn't intend on participating in, just because I do a lot of other challenges. I participate in a lot of other readathons, and yeah, I have my TBR game, but I was looking for something to read considering I had finished a lot of the things that I was in the middle of, and so I decided to go ahead and borrow the audiobook of this because it was a book that I wanted to read in October. I had started it. I got like 2 or 3 pages in, but then the month ended and I was just like, I'll read it later, and never continued. And so I did decide to start this one over. And like I said, I borrowed a copy of the audiobook from Libby through my library. I am on chapter 8, page 73. And so I'm really enjoying this. We watched the movie adaptation in October, I think, and it was my daughter's first time seeing the movie. I had seen it before, but I am enjoying this. There are a lot of differences already just within the first chapter between the book and the adaptation. And so, yeah, I am enjoying listening to this one. And so, since it had the word "what" in the title, the buzzword challenge for January is who, what, where, when, why, and how. And so this one fit into that perfectly. So I do hope to finish that one before the end of the month. And I don't think that should be a problem considering it is a pretty fast read. The words are pretty big. And so, yes, I will be reading that one for the rest of the month. And I do have one more prompt I need to complete before the end of January, and so I will be reading something for that as well. Other than that, I have done a little bit of knitting, so I do have it here on the floor. Hold on. I finished my test knit, so that was wonderful. I needed to have that done before the 1st of February. So I did finish it. I took it out and wore it with me, wore it to my manga club meeting. See, I told you I'm having a problem with words today. I wore it to the manga club meeting, and so I decided to take some pictures in the mall and get that posted. I do still need to submit my actual yarn weights. But other than that, I am done with that. So I decided to start in on my next sweater. I did want to participate in the Crazy Cabled Sweater Knit Along, which is being hosted by the Crazy Sock Lady and Sock Witchery. And so I decided to use one of the bags that I picked up in December. This is a bag from Stitching the High Notes. It's her retro ornaments, I believe is what she called this collection. And it's a sweater bag, so obviously big enough to hold all of the skeins of yarn for my sweater. And so I am using a stash of Wool of the Andes worsted in the Calypso Heather colorway. I had actually bought a sweater's quantity of this yarn for a different sweater. And I just decided that I didn't want to make that sweater anymore. And so it was just enough for this next sweater. And so I decided to go ahead and do the Namu sweater by Knit Boop. This is a cabled sweater, obviously, because it's the Crazy Cabled Sweater Knit Along. And the cables on the front panel are meant to represent trees because Namu in Korean, or Namu is a Korean word, which means tree in English. Yes. Words. So anyway, I started my sweater. I am only about 20 rows in. Let me see if I can situate this correctly for you. So it goes, yes, like this. So this is the front panel right here. You kind of can see where the trees are coming from. Maybe if I get a little bit closer. But yeah. It's looking really good. I'm really happy with how it looks. I did a twisted rib for the neck as per pattern. And then on the sleeve, so this is the sleeve, there is another cable down the sleeve panel. So obviously this is a top-down sweater. And so I'm increasing until we get to the sleeve separation. And then it'll just be body. So I have already went through one complete skein. The Wool of the Andes skeins are only 50 grams and 110 yards. So I have already gone through one of these and started in on the second. And yeah, so the back is plain. So it gives me a little bit of a reprieve. But I'm enjoying this so far. It does take a lot of concentration to read through the charts because for me it's not a chart that is easily memorizable. And with the way these cables are done, there's not like, for me it's not yet repeating. Like I can't say, okay, this is the section we're in right now, because a lot of times the instructions don't mirror. So like a lot of times you can see like a pattern, you know, okay, we're going to decrease stitches here and we're going to do the opposite decrease here. That's not how this works. And so there was one time where I missed the cable completely, and like even on these cables, I'm just like, wait, this doesn't look right. I don't know. I just have to trust that I am following the instructions correctly and I hope for the best. I think that's what needs to be done. But yeah, so far it's looking okay. I don't see any major mistakes. I did already have to go back and fix this one sleeve because I had missed the cable on this side, and so I had to drop down and fix it. Thankfully, I hadn't done this one yet, so I just had to drop down and fix it. So it doesn't look too bad. I did fix it, and so yes, moving right along on this one, and so far so good. Now, will this be a sweater that I'll be able to work on while watching the Olympics? Maybe not, but we'll see how that goes. And yeah, if not, I'll start a new plain project. There are a couple plain projects that I have in mind to do. And so yes, we'll see how that goes. Speaking of the Olympics, I do plan on taking vacation again during the Olympics, so that's coming up soon. Very, very excited for that. Looking forward to watching the Olympics again, like all day, every day. Like I mentioned during the Summer Olympics, there were a lot of sports that I didn't get to watch. Because we would only watch primetime coverage, you don't get a lot of the sports, like the equestrian competition and things like that. And so it was really fascinating to see all of that. I'm looking forward to a lot more, including curling. I'm hoping to see some curling. It's a sport that fascinates me. It's always so interesting to watch how they decide how to throw their markers and how they use their techniques to sweep and things like that. And yes, I'm hoping to watch some curling. Definitely the ice skating. All of the ice skating is very interesting to watch for us as well. Ski jumping, bobsleds. I read an article that said that Jamaica is having their first bobsled team qualify in like 25 years. So they were calling it Cool Runnings 2.0. I love Cool Runnings. But yeah, that'll be interesting. And then obviously skeleton and luge. We watch all of that. And did I say ski jumping already? Snowboarding. That's real interesting to watch as well. And yeah, definitely excited for all of those winter sports. And seeing some that maybe I don't get to see at all. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything that has been going on. The weather, like I said, is still crazy right now. The wind is still going. I'm hoping for that to calm down this evening because whenever the wind blows like that, I get really scared. It's the thing that probably scares me the most as far as weather goes is high winds. But it also kicks up stuff outside that just makes me congested and gives me a cough, and so I've been coughing a lot, and so my throat is kind of raw, and obviously with all the recording I've done today, it's kind of starting to wear out. So I think I will stop this clip here, and I will be back with you later, maybe once or twice more before the end of the month to wrap up this diary. So yeah, I'll talk to you later and catch you up with everything that I have done since now. So yeah, I'll talk to you later. Hi everyone, it is Saturday, January 29th, and I am here for another check-in on my Disis19 Diaries. So I've finished a couple of things recently, and I guess I'll talk to you about those first. You would have seen a little earlier a clip of my finished sweater, which is the one that I am wearing right now. And yeah, this was the test knit of the Moana pullover.
or the Voyager pullover that is inspired by Disney's Moana. I am absolutely in love with this sweater. I'm so happy to have been able to test knit it, and yeah, I couldn't be happier. So that was kind of the thing that I needed to have done by the end of this month, and obviously I did finish it earlier. I think I finished it a couple weeks ago, and so yeah, I wore it to the manga club meeting. I can't remember at this point if I had told you about that already, because the manga club meeting was in the last clip. But yeah, I wore it to the manga club meeting. I took a couple of pictures for my project page for when this pattern goes live. Not quite sure when the live date is going to be on this pattern yet, but one of the things that I did today was finish up filming my project vlog for this particular project. So if you're interested in hearing me talk about this project in detail, all the way from when I purchased the yarn and what my thoughts about the color scheme going into it are, definitely keep an eye out on my Yarny channel, which is always linked down in the description box below, because once the pattern goes live, my project vlog for this project will also go live. So I talk about all of the things, all the yarn I purchased, why I decided on the colors that I decided on, any modifications that I made, and yeah, so I filmed that today. What else did I do? I filmed a lot today. I filmed my next Yarny update, which I haven't done a Yarny update in a while. I feel like it's been a while. My last Yarny update was at the beginning of December, and so it kind of has been a while, but I did do Vlogmas in December and talked about my knitting projects in there, so I kind of feel like it wasn't, but I did finally sit down and do a Yarny update. I filmed my next wrap-up clip. I'm doing this check-in. So it's been a long day of filming. But I have finished reading a couple things since I talked to you last. And so, like I said, I just filmed my wrap-up clip for these things. So I'll just tell you what I rated them. So the first things I finished after I talked to you last were volumes 15 and 16 of LDK by Ayu Watanabe. I gave both of these 5 stars. I finished I Know What You Did Last Summer by Lois Duncan. This I ended up giving 3 stars. And I finished volumes 1 and 2 of Haikyuu by Haruichi Furudate. I gave both of these 5 stars. Actually, no, I didn't. I lied. I gave volume 1 4 stars because the things that happen in this volume are not my favorite. But the rest of the series is definitely a 5-star series for me, at least up to where I have read so far. So I have read up to volume 30-something in Haikyuu. And so, yeah, I am rereading all of these volumes for the Fly-Along hosted by Shay Geeks Out. And I'm hoping to finish that series this year. It is a beloved series in my house. We really, really enjoy watching the anime. And reading it is just as fun. And so I'm really, really enjoying that. I did mention in my wrap-up video that I failed to mention the last time that I was participating in the TBRPG-a-thon readathon that was hosted by Wandering Through Worlds. And so some of what I read there was included in that, as well as what I talked about in the last video. So I'll put up a little graphic here to show you what I ended up reading for TBRPG-a-thon. It was really fun. I didn't think that I was going to be able to complete it, so I had originally just started to think that I was just going to participate lightly. I was enjoying all of the storytelling and all of that, but I ended up being able to complete everything for every prompt and not doubling up on any prompts. So that was great. I really hope she does that again because that was a lot of fun and much more manageable than I thought it was going to be. What I am reading right now is City of Villains. This is a YA mystery story that is set in a world where magic has kind of disappeared. There was an event that happened one day that just kind of sucked all the magic out of the world, and now you've got people who are known as legends who are from families who had magical abilities, and now they just don't because of that day. And then you have, I think they're called the Narrows, who are people who never had magic. But some of the legends that we follow in this story are reimagined Disney villains. So, like, some of them you don't really know who they are. Their names aren't the same. So, like our main character here, her name is Mary Elizabeth Hart. So, I believe she is the Queen of Hearts. And then there is her boyfriend, who, his name, I couldn't even tell you who he was just based on the name. I probably should have known, but his name is James. James Bartholomew, I think, is his name. And he, I believe, is Captain Hook. There's a character named Smee, so obviously that's Smee. There's Mally, who I believe is Maleficent. And then there's Ursula, who's also Ursula. But they are high school teenagers in this book. And our main character, Mary Hart, is actually also an intern at the police department. And one day, Mally disappears, and Mary is assigned with Belle to investigate Mally's disappearance. And so there are definite things in this story where it helps you to figure out who these characters are. But there are other things where I'm just like, who is that character? And it doesn't come right away. So, like, there's a detective in the police agency who I don't even remember what his first name is, but they kept referring to him, and just based on how he was acting and how they were referring to him, I didn't put two and two together, but he ended up being Gaston. And I found that out later because they tell you what his last name is. And so, yeah, I'm not sure that the whole Disney villain angle on this is working for me. I'm sure it's all going to, like, come together in the end, or at least I hope it is. But for now, I think this story definitely would have worked better if our characters weren't the Disney villains, because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing them as the Disney villains. I think the only one that really comes close for me is Mally, and that's only because they talk about her having a pet crow that, like, stays on her shoulder. And for me, that's iconic Maleficent. But everything else is kind of like, it's hard when you're trying to see the Disney villain in the character and it's not really obvious. So, like, obviously Ursula is Ursula. But, like, with Mary Elizabeth, I didn't really put it together until they talked about how she enjoyed this croquet game at this, like, arcade. And so it's things like that that is making the story difficult for me. So I'm trying to, like, get that whole Disney villain angle out of my head and just kind of enjoy this as a YA kind of mystery. With Mary Elizabeth kind of being a amateur sleuth, even though she's an intern. This is her first, like, real big case, and she's trying to figure out what happened to a classmate of hers. Mally is a classmate. And so, yeah, there's some discrimination against legends by the Narrows. I don't know if that comes down to, like, jealousy or anything like that. I'm just having a hard time with kind of the setting of this book, I guess. It's not really drawing me in. the author's writing style was kind of hard for me to get into. I wasn't really able to concentrate on this story either, and I don't know if that's just me and what's going on with things in my life or work right now affecting my ability to concentrate on this. So I actually decided to switch to audiobook, and for me, that's working out a lot better. So I am about 102 pages in. I'm chapter 11. This book is 229 pages, so I'm not quite halfway, but I will say that if I don't take into consideration the whole Disney villain aspect of this, I am enjoying this. It's definitely interesting to see how Mary's kind of going about investigating with Belle and kind of their relationship, because Belle is an investigator, though she is not very many years older than Mary. She's kind of like pulling rank, and Mary's like, you haven't been at this very long either, so. But yeah, things like that I'm enjoying. I think me trying to like see the whole Disney aspect in it is what's hindering my enjoyment of this a bit. But I'm looking forward to continuing and seeing how this particular installment all ends up. I do know that this is the first book in a planned trilogy. I believe the second book in this trilogy is supposed to come out this year. And so, yeah, I'm enjoying this for the most part. And I did pronounce the author's name wrong when I talked to you last. Her name is actually pronounced Estelle Lore, based on how it's pronounced in the audiobook. So, yeah, that is that one. So, what else have I been doing? I think I showed you a little clip of the sweater that I've been working on. That is the Namu sweater by Knit Boop. And I am using that to participate in the Crazy Cabled Sweater Knit Along hosted by Crazy Sock Lady and Sock Witchery. That sweater is moving along nicely, and I'm very, very happy with how that is turning out. I did actually talk about that one in my Yarny update that I recorded earlier today. We're kind of in that in-between area as far as TV shows and like TV watching goes, because the Olympics are coming up so soon. All of the TV shows are kind of winding down for that event. And so, yeah, just been enjoying watching things on TV. We watched the crime scene documentary on the Times Square killer on Netflix. That was interesting. I had never heard about that killer before. So, yeah, there were a lot of things in that particular documentary, though, that are like very sexual, and so I didn't enjoy that too much, but I was knitting away on my sweater, so I didn't really watch a lot of it. I was more listening to it, and I always find documentaries on like serial killers and things like that interesting. It's just something that I've always found fascinating. I guess it has to do with the fact that my father was in law enforcement. That was his occupation, and so yeah, there are a couple other documentaries on Netflix that I'm interested in checking out, so we'll probably be looking into a lot more of those. We've continued our watch along of Bleach. I am behind on reading those volumes, so if you've seen my February TBR, you know that I do plan on getting at least one more omnibus in, but right now where we are in the anime, it's an arc that's not in the manga, and so we're able to just watch it and not have to worry about where we are in the manga. So that's been great. Bleach is actually being taken off of Netflix at the end of the month, though, so we're going to have to switch to disc. But I have mentioned before that we have been recently collecting the Blu-ray editions, and so yeah, no worries there. Other than that, we haven't really been up to much. You might notice that my lashes are a little bit strange. I am trying out a new lash system. I am trying out the practice pack for the Lashify system. I had seen a couple videos come up on my feed on YouTube, and I thought, oh, I'll check it out. I've always had an issue with strip lashes, just with the way that my eye is shaped. They don't really work for me, and I always have irritation. And so when I saw this system, because it's an under the lash application, I thought, oh, I'll try it out. The Lashify system is very expensive, but I was able to get their practice pack for free with the purchase of one set of their lashes. And so I decided to do that. Tried them on today. Got them on. They seem okay, but this style of lash is not really like my preferred style. So if I get really close, they're really, really like full. And I think even though I want some volume, I think just like a sparser lash would work better, because this is too like voluminous for me. But they are comfortable. I was able to get them on very easily. And yeah, so I'll definitely be playing around with lash systems like this. I do have a recommendation for Lilac Street as an alternative to Lashify. Their lashes are much cheaper than the Lashify lashes. And from what I can tell, they're made of the same material. So those will be the next lashes I try. So eventually, I will be picking up a set of those lashes to try. But so far, so good. Like I said, I got them on pretty easy. They're staying on well. I'm not getting any kind of irritation. I just don't like this particular style of lash for myself. But yeah, these are supposed to be like long wear lashes, and I don't want to wear them long wear. Like, you're supposed to be able to wear them for up to a week or longer, and that's just not something I'm interested in. So I will be taking these off at the end of the day. But I think if I were like going into the office every day, this would definitely be something I'd want to stay on, just because it's one less thing I'd have to deal with, like putting on mascara and things. And so, yeah, no mascara today, just the lashes. And yeah, they are a little long. The practice pack had 3 different like lengths, and I think for me, I just do one length, like the whole lash. Like, there's like all of these different like informational things on lash maps, on you should use like shorter in the front and longer in the end, or short and in the front and the end and longer in the middle, and that's too much for me. But yeah, I'll be playing with these types of lash systems here and there, I guess. I don't think this is going to be something that I play with regularly, but yeah, if it looked a little different, that's what it was. But I think that's pretty much all I've been up to lately. So I do have a couple more days till the end of the month. So I do think that I'm going to check in one more time by the end, if not Tuesday, which is the 1st, because daughter's going back to on-campus learning, and so I will be home alone and have time to film my last update then for the month. So I'll chat with you one more time, and I will talk to you later. Hi everyone, it is Monday, January 31st, and I am here to wrap up this diary entry. So I did have to go into the office today. One of our clients needed something done, which required me to have to go in. There has actually been an infection. One of our employees, coworkers,
has been infected, and so the office was pretty empty considering that. And yeah, so I do like to go back to the office when it's empty. I did see a lot of new faces again this time. In fact, I rode up in the elevator with somebody who I thought was going to the office that was across the way because I didn't recognize him. But he ended up following me into the office. And so, yeah, that was kind of weird, especially because I walk in like, I know the place, I know where I'm going, because I do, but he's never seen me before, and I've never seen him, so, yeah. But it was nice to see the few people that I have worked with in the past. We only see them about once every month, if not once every other month. For my coworker, she sees them more often because she ends up having to go in and deal with the mail and things like that, whereas I only have to go in when a client needs something, which is about once every other month. So I'm fortunate in that way, but yeah, it was nice to get out of the house. I haven't really done much else since I talked to you last because it's only been a couple of days. I did end up not finishing anything else as far as reading goes since I talked to you last, so let me just catch you up with where I am right now. So I was reading Volume 3 of Haikyuu by Haruichi Furudate. I'm reading this as part of the Fly Along with Shay Geeks Out. I haven't read that much. This is the beginning over here. So yeah, I'm barely into it. This is a reread for me though, so it should go by fast. I just haven't really spent time reading. I've spent time doing other things like knitting and playing video games instead of reading, but I will probably finish this one tonight. Tonight in my language means after midnight. So this will be a February finish, but I do anticipate finishing that. And then because I had to go into the office today, did not get to listen to any more of City of Villains by Estelle Lore. I am about halfway, I think. So yeah, I haven't gotten anywhere else since I talked to you about this last. I do plan on listening to more of this tomorrow on my lunch break because I won't have to spend my lunch break heading to the office and dealing with things. But yeah, so that's where I am with those. That will actually work well for February fantasy stories. I always get that wrong. I should know it because it's FFS, but I always want to say Fast Fantasy Reads or February Fantasy Reads, but it's February Fantasy Stories, which is the readathon reading event that I am participating in support of my friends, the Bookish Bryants. So since this is actually under 250 pages, and it is a fantasy story, considering we're talking about magic and Disney villains kind of reimagined, I would count that as a fantasy story. So, yeah, I'll start my reading with that, even though it's not one that I had planned to read in February, but it will definitely count for that plan. And, yeah, that's pretty much everything. I did get some new bookmarks, so I thought I'd share those with you here. My daughter went to Daiso and picked me up these. It says Jinbei-san, which Jinbei is a whale shark in Japanese. I think it's Jinbei Zame or something like that, because Zame is shark, and so Jinbei Zame is whale shark, but this says Jinbei-san, and these are all whale shark bookmarks. I really enjoy magnetic bookmarks, which is what these are. They're just my favorite because they won't ever fall out of your book. At least I haven't had that happen, but they're very secure. Usually when I have paper bookmarks,
they always fall out or they get bent because they're sticking up over the book. And yeah, I just prefer magnetic ones. So my daughter knows what I like, and she just saw these and definitely thought of me. So happy to have those. And then before I let you go, I do want to share with you how I've been doing on my sweater that I've been knitting. So I have it in this bag. This is a bag I got from Stitching the High Notes at Christmas time. She is someone who has a knitting kind of, I guess, lifestyle in a way podcast, because she does share some of her cooking and things like that. She is keto or gluten-free, something along those lines. She has special dietary needs, and so she shares some of her cooking. But she also has a business making handmade project bags. And so I'm putting it to good use for the sweater, because that is a sweater bag, and so I'm housing a sweater in it. And so this has grown quite a bit since I showed it to you last. I think I only showed you a clip of it I think it was right after I split for the sleeves. So this is what it looks like now. Like I said, I've been spending a lot of time on this project. This is the top of the shoulder. And so this is what it looks like. Let me move back a little bit. So I am, I would say about 6 inches below the underarm, which sounds about right. I'm almost done with the first section of the body, and then I have about 3/4 of this repeat more to go. So it should be long enough, but I am getting very concerned about the amount of yarn that I have left. Based on what the pattern says, I had more than enough yarn for my size. But I'm getting very scared. I only have 6 skeins left. And I don't know that I'm going to make it. We'll see how many skeins I have left when I finish the body. But I would be more comfortable if I have 4 skeins left after the body is done, 2 for each sleeve. I might not need that much, but I think if I have less than that, I'm going to start sweating a bit. But I did talk about this project in more detail in my Yarny update, which I filmed this past weekend. I have not yet edited that video. This week, I wanted to get that edited, but I don't think I'm going to have the time. It's probably not going to go up until the beginning of February, just because, like I mentioned, I am going on vacation for 2 weeks starting on the 7th. So this week is like crunch time. I'm trying to get everything done because there's a lot of things coming up that will need to be taken care of while I am out of the office. And normally when I take vacation, there's not a lot going on, but this time, because I'm taking it in an unusual time for me, I normally don't take vacation this early in the year, but because this is an earlier time for me, there are quite a few things that other people will need to step in and help with. So I hope that everything that needs to get done gets done, gets taken care of. See? It is the end of my day. I've just finished work and got everything set up and sat down and recorded. So my mind is still not, I'm still frazzled a bit. Not quite relaxed, but yeah, that is pretty much where we are. So the next time you will see me will be in a new Disis19 Diaries for February, and I should already be on vacation. I don't believe I will be checking in with you until probably this weekend for the first time. And this video will probably go up next week, I think. I've got to take a look at my posting and everything that I have scheduled. So yeah, I've got some exciting announcements coming up. I'm sure if you know what time of year is fastly approaching, you know what I am talking about. But yeah, some really exciting announcements coming, having to do with next month, not next month, February, but the month after that. And yeah, vacation, all good things coming. So that will do it for me this month. Let me know some of the fun things that you've been up to lately. Have you created anything or worked on any fun projects? Have you read any of the books that I have read recently or have talked about? Let me know your thoughts on those, or let me know what your favorite thing that you've done lately is. Like, what's your favorite show to watch most recently? Or, like I said, one of the projects that you're working on, or the book that you're reading. Are you enjoying it? Just chat with me down in the comments below. I would really love to talk to you. And that will do it for me for January. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.